Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Blue version. Today we are heading down Route 12 on our way to Fuchsia City. So let's make our way. Alright, so this is a route that has a lot of bridges we're going to be walking on our piers. So it's a very heavy water route. There's not going to be much grass. There's a lookout upstairs. Alright, let's go up these stairs and let's see what's here. My Pokemon's ashes are stored in the Pokemon Tower. You can have this TM. I don't need it anymore. And we received TM39. TM39 is Swift. Swift is actually a pretty good move. It will always hit, even if the opponent hits you with a lot of sand attacks and all that. As long as you're able to attack, it will hit. So I think it's actually a fairly useful normal type move. Right, our first trainer. Yeah, I got a bite here. So this is probably a fisherman, and it is. So he should have a lot of water type Pokemon. First, Godine. So Parasy has had trouble with Godines in the past, but now with our Spore, we can put it to sleep so we don't have to worry about Peck. So it's fast asleep. And now to help kind of deal with these water types, we can use Mega Drain, and we get the knockout. Parasy gains some experience, and next is Poliwag. Poliwag, another pure water type. I believe this is our first time seeing it, or one of our first times seeing it. So this is what evolves into Poliwhirl that we can use to trade for Jinx that we saw back in Cerulean City Gym. The Cerulean City. Next, another Goldeen. I think we should be able to just take this out using Mega Drain. But we got hit by Peck. It still did a pretty good amount of damage, but we're able to heal that right back up. So this is really the strategy with Parasy I have, is just keeping him topped off. Yes, he takes a lot of damage, but we're able to recover. Alright, we see there's an item over there. Unfortunately, we're unable to get it because we're not able to cross the water yet. Okay, nothing up here. We can continue down. Be patient. Fishing is a waiting game. So as we're going to see, there's a lot of fishermen along this route. And he sends out a Tentacool. So a water poison type. So let's go with Spore. Oh, it hit us Poison Sting. Crit. Super effective, but luckily we did not get poisoned. Let's put it to sleep so we can fight back. Mega Drain should do, I believe, neutral damage. Okay, not very effective, so that poison typing does make it not very effective. But we're doing pretty good. Let's hit it with Leech Life. Hopefully, okay, no poison. And we get the knockout. And some health back. Okay, next is a Goldeen. Seems to be Parasy's worst matchup, so we'll just use Mega Drain again. Yes, we're going to get hit pretty hard. Of course, it was a crit, but we should get a fair amount of HP back from Mega Drain. Alright. That one got away. Okay, well, let's continue down. Another trainer. I'm gonna skip him for now. Try not to get into too many battles. because I do have an idea for some of these battles that we have been skipping. Alright, now we meet the infamous roadblock, a sport fishing area. A sleeping Pokemon blocks the way. So, if we came this way originally, we would have been blocked by this Pokemon. But now, completing the Pokemon Tower and Mr. Fuji giving us the Pokeflute, we are able to revive it. This Pokemon, there are only 2 in the game. One here and one to the west of Celadon. The path we did not take. So, I would suggest if you are playing this to save before this encounter. And then use the Pokeflute. But also make sure you have plenty of Pokeballs, or in this case Great Balls, to be able to catch this. Alright. Snorlax woke up. It attacked in a grumpy rage. Snorlax, a pure normal type Pokemon, and by all definitions, he is a tank. So, Snorlax here is level 30. It's available in all games. It has the move Amnesia that raises its special stat greatly. So that makes it a pretty dangerous opponent, but it also has the move Rest. So it will go to sleep and fully recover its health. So when you're trying to catch this, if you're trying to weaken it, you are kind of fighting it being able to fully recover. Okay, it's half health asleep. This should help increase the chances of me catching it, but it is a tough catch. Alright, I'm going to throw one more Great Ball. Maybe I'll get lucky here. Nope. Uses Headbutt. And it does a fair amount of damage. I just want to be careful with it because I don't want to get too many crits and knock it out by accident. But with its special high, I probably should be able to use Mega Drain and lower it. Oh yeah, it barely did anything. Alright, went back to sleep. So this gives me free range to hit it again with Body Slam. Okay. As long as I don't get... I mean, even if I get a critical, I don't believe it will knock it out. Alright. Another Great Ball. Come on, one. Oh. So Snorlax actually has... Alright, I have an idea. I'm going to put it to sleep before it can go to sleep. Use Spore. Of course it woke up. Let's do Spore again. Fast asleep. Okay. Great Ball. Come on. One. Outside of a certain group of Pokemon, I would say this is probably one of the hardest captures in the game. Right, let's do Spore again. I think I might need to try to chip it down just a bit. Let's do a Mega Drain. It's not much, but any little damage can help. And since we know we can outspeed it and use Spore, if it wakes up, we just counteract with Spore, put it back to sleep. And the only thing that could probably hurt us right now is a crit. Alright. I'm worried that it's too low. Even if I use Leech Life, it has a risk of knocking it out. I mean, I could probably run the calculations for it. 1, 2, 3, and we caught Snorlax. Snorlax, the sleeping Pokemon. Weight, 1,014 pounds. Very lazy, just eats and sleeps. As its round bulk builds, it becomes steadily more slothful. Do we want to give it a nickname? No. Snorlax is a very good use for a team member. If we come over here, we can enter in here. And we can make our way back to Viridian City. And here's where we would have originally learned about nicknames. Alright, oh, here's Professor Oaksaid. Hey, remember me? I'm Professor Oaksaid. If you caught 30 kinds of Pokemon, I'm supposed to give you an item finder. So Phoenix, have you caught at least 30 kinds? Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So let's see if we have 30 kinds of Pokemon. Uh-oh. We've only caught 26. So we're unable to get the item finder currently. So the item finder helps us find hidden items. I will be working on that as we move along. We will be catching some new Pokemon and all that. So it shouldn't be that difficult for us to get. So as we continue on, another battle. Electricity is my specialty. So it sounds like this guy takes advantage of the local trainers. So Rocker wants to fight with a Voltorb. So Parasy is not necessarily the best matchup here, but we can put it to sleep and use some Leech Lives to help get our health back. It's one of the things where we're not super effective against it, but we can still do a decent amount of damage to it. So a few Leech Lives should knock it out. Another critical hit. One more Leech Life. And we get the knockout. Alright, Electrode, the evolved form of Voltorb, level 29. Okay, we'll just go with Thrash. It sets up light screen to help protect against special attacks. But Thrash is physical, so it does not affect it. Tries to use light screen again, but unfortunately does not work. And that's probably just the AI trying to use a psychic type move against Kaiser. This is just the early AIs and it's not as effective. If we check in this house, I'm the fishing guru's brother. I simply love fishing. Do you like to fish? Yeah. Grand. I like your style. Take this and fish, young one. Phoenix received a super rod. Fishing is a way of life. From the seas to the river, go out and lend the big one. The exact same dialogue as his brother. The super rod is the best fishing rod in the game. You're able to catch different Pokemon in the water now at level 5 or 15. So if you want to, on this route, we're actually able to get some Pokemon using the super rod. So let's take a look. Not even a nibble. So sometimes you do get unlucky and you will not get a bite. Once again, not even a nibble. Come on. And we get a bite. Okay, so there are 4 different encounters you can get with the super rod in red and blue version. The first being, as we see here, Goldeen. So once again, Goldeen is a pure water type. And it's not the best. You have a 25% chance of catching or running into a Goldeen. So let's get this and add it to our Pokédex. The Goldfish Pokemon. Would you like to give it a nickname? No. To start working on collecting some. Let's go for another cast. See what else we can get here. Ooh, a bite. So our other encounters are Magikarp, but at level 15 now, Krabby, and Tentacool. So all Pokemon we have seen before. Magikarps aren't really worth the fight. But we're also able to, in yellow version, run into Horsey and Seadra. We see there is an item over here, so let's use Lawn Clipper to cut it. We do have a battle. You never know what you could catch. But in Pokemon Yellow, Horsey can be available from level 20 to 25, and Seadra can be available from level 25 to 35. So the Super Rod is much better in Yellow in this case. Okay, we're out of Mega Drains, but I'm not too worried about Magikarp. And this is kind of a weird thing because there is one more rod, the Good Rod, which we have yet to get, which is the middle one. Kind of how it seems they planned for you to get these fishing rods. You were supposed to go west of Celadon, down Route 16 and 17, and come in on the west side of Fuchsia City. But if you're kind of playing in order, you get the Pokeflute in Lavender Town. It makes sense just to go south. We found another iron. So it's kind of weird because it seems like you get them out of order. In most games there is a specific order in which you get them. Okay, let's avoid this trainer for right now. Come down here. Another cut tree where we can find the grass for this area. And in the grass we have a couple encounters we can run into. So first we're going to run into our ever classic Pidgeys. And then we have a chance of running into Bellsprout in Pokemon Blue or Oddish in Pokemon Red version. And we also have a chance of running into their evolved forms, rarely being Weeping Bell in Blue, Gloom, and Red. But also at a 20% chance, we have a chance to run into a Venonat, the bug poison type. And we caught it. Add it to our decks. So Venonat's not that bad. It does evolve into a Pokemon called Venomoth, which honestly is most famous for the Twitch Play Pokemon run of where they actually had a Venonat. I keep forgetting. Cut is in Pokemon. And I believe its name was ATV, and it was one of their powerhouses. To note before we move on from these patches of grass, in Pokemon Yellow, you're able to run into Oddish and Bellsprout, and their evolved forms, Weeping Bell and Gloom, a Pidgey and Pidgeotto, and then rarely Farfetch. So in Pokemon Yellow, this is where you would find Farfetch. Okay, we have some trainer battles here we cannot avoid. My bird Pokemon wants to scrap. And Parasy is now at a very big disadvantage. So we're going to need to switch them out fairly quickly. Sends out Pidgey. I mean, Pidgey isn't that big of a deal. We might be able to take him out here. Tries to use Whirlwind, but we are unaffected. Almost get the full knockout. One more Body Slam should do. And Whirlwind did not work again. Next is Pidgeotto. Yes, I want to change, and this is where Gimbu will come in. Granted, Kaiser could also do well with his Rock Slide. Using Ice Beam, we get the knockout. Gimbu gained some experience. The Bird Keeper was defeated. My bird combo lost. Alright, next trainer. I'm told I'm good for a kid. Alright. So we have a junior trainer. Who also sends out a Pidgey. Fight. Body Slam. It uses Quick Attack. So already doing better than that bird keeper who kept trying to use Whirlwind. But we get a critical hit for the knockout. She next sends out Meowth. You know what? Let's send out ours. Granted, he is probably very out-leveled. Yep. But we'll use Payday anyways. Oh, I was hoping it used Payday back. Get some money off. And now switch into Gimbu. Bite. Critical hit. We're going to counter with Water Gun. Almost knockout. Growl causes our attack to fall, but Water Gun isn't concerned by that. Next is Rattata. We'll keep Gimbu out. And we'll use Dig. We dug a hole. Uses Hyper Fang and misses. We pop back up with Dig. And just miss the knockout. So there's a chance it could use Quick Attack here to not hit us, but we got lucked out. Well, we lucked out. Next is Pikachu. I can keep Gimbu in. And we just use Dig. Went for Growl. Not our real concern, but with the super effective move, we can easily knock it out. And Gimbu grows to level 35. Another Meowth. We'll just strike it with Water Gun. Get hit with Bite. And another Water Gun for the win. Okay. We picked up some money and we can keep going. I think I'm going to switch Kaiser up front for right now. This is kind of a long path and now we kind of hit this maze north to Silence Bridge. Okay. So up here we have two trainers here, and in other games that would be a double battle, but in this game, since there are no double battles, we would just take on them one at a time. But I'm going to try to avoid some of these trainers, and if we come down here and we talk to this set of the fence, we can find a calcium. Alright, so I'm trying to snake my way through a lot of this. Okay. I think we're going to have to face a trainer. Either way. Okay, we're able to avoid him. Come around here. Alright, nope, I need to go that way. There is a hidden item just south of me, right in that tree. So if we want to go pick it up, I will need to walk back. We know we can avoid him walking this way. And we have to battle this guy, making sure not to pull him up one space, because he will block the path and we would have to leave and come back for us to actually be able to get the item. Alright, so Kaiser. We can use Rock Slide. He's a bird keeper, so Kaiser can easily take care of this with his Rock Slides. That's one knockout. Hopefully Kaiser will gain a level soon. just so he can start matching Genbu again. Because also, the sooner we get Genbu leveled up, the better. Another one-hit KO. And Kaiser grows to level 35. Alright. Next is Spearow. I will switch into Genbu. Parasy could probably deal with this Spearow, but overall, this isn't the current best fighting conditions for Parasy. Ice Beam, and we get the knockout. And then lastly is Fearow, or Pharaoh. Fearow. And we can use Ice Beam. So this is the evolved form of Spearow. And honestly, as I said earlier on, kind of better than Pidgey's final evolution. But they're still both pretty good. And if we come here, we can find another PP up. So we can raise the power points. Alright. So that is all the hidden items along this route. All the way to Fuchsia City, so we don't have to worry about going out of our way. Okay, and there's a couple more trainers. I don't think there's anything scattered about over here. Probably nothing over there. I should have looked earlier. But just want to make sure that we don't come across anything. Oh, I forgot to mention a actually fairly interesting encounter in this route above us. So there is one new encounter, being Ditto. Ditto is a very unique Pokemon because it only knows one move. Ooh, and we also run into a Doduo, a normal flying type. We will run into more Doduos when we take the other path, so I will discuss Doduo when we get over there, when you can actually catch it. So, as I was saying about Ditto, Ditto only knows one move, Transform. And when it uses Transform, it can turn into the opposing Pokemon. It then gains 5 PP of each of the moves that Pokemon learns, and it can fight back as that Pokemon. And it will last until that transformation until the battle is over or it's knocked out. But it's found at a rare 5% chance. Oh, Mirror Move. This is a unique move that copies the opponent's move. Typically learned a lot by flying types. But Ditto, the downside of it is that first turn. It's not the fastest thing, and then when it copies, it gets a limited amount of moves. So, it's not necessarily the best. In Pokemon Yellow, you're unable to run into Ditto there. So that's kind of the downside. When it comes to fishing along that route, you also get access to Tentacool in Pokemon Yellow at level 10 using the Super Rod. But that's the only extra thing for you over there. Okay. Actually, on this route, we have a better chance of running into Ditto. So let's see if we can actually get lucky and run into one. So there's another big batch of trainers here. If you're heading to Fuchsia City and you want to avoid a fair amount of trainers, use Cut on this tree and you'll be able to walk in this section where there are no trainers. But as you can see down here, there's a fair bit of trainers. There is one still up here, but But overall, we're able to avoid most of the battles, and we can pick up TM20. If we look at TM20, it contains Rage. Rage, we saw with Kangaskhan, it kind of locks you in like Thrash. But every time you get hit while using it, your attack builds, and that's how you get most of your power out of it. So let's see real quick if we can get kind of lucky and run into a Ditto. I think I might actually just cut to me finding one. That way we don't run this video too long if this encounter is not Ditto. And it's not. So I will see you once I come across one. Literally the next encounter, we come across a Ditto. It's level 26. Oh, did I actually move on to the next route? Okay, yeah, I did. I was like really confused here. There's a lot of routes right here, and there's not a real distinct change between them. Okay, let's see if we can get lucky throwing a Great Ball to try to get this Ditto. And we missed. And it used Transform, and we're going to see. It turns into Kaiser. Alright. With it turning into Kaiser, we can now actually take slight advantage of it because we know what typing it is now. It is a ground poison type. So, using that to our knowledge, oh, of course we get a crit. We can have a better chance at fighting it. So, we ran into a Ditto. I kind of just want to catch one for fun. So I will be back when I run into another one, and hopefully we can catch it that time. See you in just a sec. Okay, another Ditto has been found. Alright. I will go for a Poison Sting. Okay, critical hit. It uses Transform, turns into Kaiser, but we're already down to half health. Okay, I'm going to switch into Paracy. This is kind of risky due to us knowing this has Rock Slide and Poison Sting. Okay, but if we can get a Spore off and survive this, we should be good. Unfortunately, it's still pretty strong even as a copy. So let's send out Gimbu. And let's just try to catch it. Another Great Ball. One. Oh. Using Thrash. This kind of puts it at risk when catching it, because we know after so many turns it will get confused, which gives it a chance of hitting itself in confusion, which could help with lowering its health, but it does risk a chance of it knocking itself out. Thrashing about. Gimbu's on his last legs here. One more Great Ball, come on. Still not enough. Confuse. Hurt itself. This helps us with catching it, but we're starting to get close. Not much luck. Hurt itself again. Okay, this is probably our last chance if we get unlucky. One, no. Don't hurt itself. Uses Horn Attack, takes out Gimbu. Okay, so Kaiser's our last chance here. And if we get unlucky here, I might come back later just to catch one for fun. One, oh. Come on. Okay. Ditto has a fairly low catch rate, so this is why it's so difficult to get. Yes, we caught it! So the transform Pokemon, capable of copying the enemy's genetic code to instantly transform itself into a duplicate of the enemy. So Ditto is kind of interesting because, as we can see in-game, it copies the opposing Pokemon very accurately. But in the anime, there was originally a Ditto that had a issue when it transformed, where it would keep its Ditto face, the 2-dot eyes and the line of a mouth. And that ended up becoming a gimmick for all Ditto thereafter. If you see the Detective Pikachu movie, there's Ditto in there, and it will always have the face of the 2-dot eyes and that straight mouth. And it's just kind of funny that basically, due to one Ditto's kind of gimmick in the anime, every Ditto then on deals with that. Okay, we see we have another Professor Zaid here. Remember me? Professor Oak Zaid. If you caught 50 type of Pokemon, I'm supposed to give you an experience all. So Phoenix, have you caught 50? No. Oh, I see. Come back when you have 50 for the experience all. The experience all is actually a very good item for leveling up Pokemon that you don't use in battle. So up until now, we've been switch training to level up stuff. So like what we did with Meowth for a while, where we would send Meowth out in battle and then swap it out to another Pokemon. Basically, the experience all fixes that issue. Instead of sending out Meowth, we can just send out Gimbu instead, beat them with Gimbu, and Meowth would get some experience. The catch is it divides that experience among all your party members. So if you only want Meowth to get the experience, it would be recommended to only take one other Pokemon with it instead of having a full party or even more than the 2 members, due to it just dividing it up for everyone. Later on, this would become the experience share and then become just like a set mechanic in games. And now we are in Fuchsia City. And next time on Let's Play Pokemon Blue version, we explore Fuchsia City and explore the area with the most Pokemon available in the game. So I will see you next time.